Hi, welcome back to the channel, Our Life After 50. Today, I'd like to discuss our goosing issues. Not very many, but there is a couple. From the previous vlogs that I put out over the last few months. Excuse. Last year, we bought 4 geese. I've always fancied geese, and I've obviously done some research, and they are easy to keep. And a lot of people said they're actually easier than chickens. And to be fair, if you've got the space, then yeah, they are. I have to say they are pretty easy. Obviously, they're much bigger, so they need a little bit bigger space. And if you've got grass pasture, then even better. But obviously here, we have quite a large garden. And at the back of the garden towards the road, we do have some cover with trees and stuff. So that's where we decided to put them. So within a few months, they completely removed the ground of grass, weed, and everything. So if you want anything getting rid of, like chickens, but even better, they'll just eat everything, and they'll leave the ground bare. So that's a negative in some respects. So for the feed, they are natural grass eaters. So when you run out of grass, you could come across a problem. But there again, in the summer months and spring, from spring onwards, I'm cutting the grass. So every time I cut the grass, they get all the cuttings, and they're quite happy with that. And I go around every day picking out weeds and stuff and giving them weeds when there's no grass. But the feed wide, it's been a bit strange really for the feeding. They don't tend to like anything that I give them. The chicken feed, I've tried barley, wheat, mixed with a bit of sunflower seed. I've given them dry, I've given them wet. They don't seem to love the grain stuff as much as chickens do, because obviously they're a water bird, and they do eat a lot of vegetation. But all that in mind, you can get by, and they seem to be okay. So that's a little background of the geese. So when it came to winter and December, obviously the reason why we got geese is because I like geese. Not just for having it in the homestead, but for food too. So we decided to process 2 of the geese for Christmas, which were fine. They ended up being about 7.5 kilo each, I think. So they were quite big, and there's only 2 of us, so that was good. And then we were left with 2. So this year, spring comes along, and one day I walked out and I thought, oh, it's a male and female. The male was obviously mounting the female and doing the business. Wasn't very good at it with being a new boy, but they were. And we wasn't expecting it, because everything I'd read is that they don't really do anything, till after 12 months old. So they weren't quite 12 months old. So anyway, I watched them, and I could see that they were doing what they were doing. So in the little nighttime box that they have, I decided to see what happens. So I put a load of straw in, and within a few days she'd gone in there and she'd made a nest and she started laying eggs. So to cut a long story short, got to the point where I think we had about 8 eggs, and she weren't being broody, she weren't wanting to sit on them. So I thought, well, I don't want to really lose out. Anyway, I left it another few days. I think there was 12 eggs. Anyway, I decided to take 8 So I took 8, and just to try it, put them in the incubator. Never done it before. So we started with 8, candled them after 7, and there was 2 that weren't viable. Well, I didn't think they were, but I left them anyway. There was definitely 2. So that was 6. Anyway, left it a few weeks and then candled them again, and I still weren't really sure. I couldn't really see much, even though it was changing colour in them, but I couldn't really see much. The rest of them were fine. I could see veins, I could see, little bits, I could see the air pockets. Anyway, gets to the, I think it was the 20th day or something like that, I decided to have a look again. And stupid me, I got one out. It was dark at night, because obviously for candling you need it dark, and the eggs weren't that clean, to be fair, and it was difficult to see them anyway. So I'm in pitch black in the kitchen in here, and I gets an egg out and puts the candler on. I was being so gentle, and it slipped out of my hand, didn't it? Because I misbalanced it on the thingy, and it fell to the floor. And to my amazement, it didn't actually smash open. It just cracked everywhere. So I thought, well, I can't put that back. It's gone now. And that one was viable. So I felt so guilty and upset about that. So now we're left with 5. Listen to them. And I changed the mat out on the 28th day. Turned the turning off and put the mat down. And the next day, I came in to make me coffee in the morning, and it was about 6. And I went to check the eggs, and I started seeing the pipping. So it's like, well, yay! So there's excitement down there. I thought, well, at least there's going to be something born. Anyway, over the next 10 hours or so, 4 had pipped, and 3 had been born, and 1 was struggling to get out. So I left it for a bit, and then I had a closer look at it, and I could see that the membrane was... Alright, good morning. The membrane was drying out, and it was drying out on the goose itself. So I thought, well, if I'm not carefully, it's gonna exhaust itself, can't get out, and it'll obviously die. So I took it out, and I just cracked it around very gently, put it back in, and then within 5-10 minutes it managed to push itself out, and it's absolutely fine. So we've ended up with 4 geese out of 4 geese out of 8, but obviously there was 2 not viable, so that's 6, and I dropped 1. That's fine. So the result was quite encouraging, considering that we've never done geese before. Chickens are a different matter. Chickens are so easy, even for setting up in the brooder and stuff. They eat straight away after they're born, within a few hours. They come running out. But what I've noticed with these 4, they tend to stay under the brooder. I know they're only 3 days old now. They stay under the brooder until I come in, and then I call them, and then they come out, and they actually have started eating now and drinking. So that's good. So it's all been quite exciting this last couple of 3 days. We've got some stuff going on in the house. We're just on the process of doing the bathroom. So we've got that going on. We're decorating and stuff. Trying to get the little ones sorted, keep them occupied. We've got all the new chickens for this year. 23. We got 23. We had 8 of our own, which we hatched ourselves. And then we decided to go to the market to get some more, so we can mix the flock, so we're not interbreeding. And there was some really nice ones there. I think, well, you've seen them on previous vlog, but there's some really nice ones on those. So we ended up with 23, I mean, it's not a problem. We've got the space, so. Hi, Goosey. Shushy. But this week, I just could have done with the weather being a bit better. We've had such a nice spring up to now. The weather's been really nice. We had some days where it was like 35 degrees, which was really warm. But just this week, the temperature's dropped, and it's dropped to, like 4, 5, even 2, I think, one night this week. And during the day, it's been struggling getting over 12, 15. And the rain has come too. So it's rained a few days, and it's supposed to stop. But towards the end of this week, we're getting back up to temperature. So maybe next week I'll give them a little trip outside and get some water for them. They can have a bit of a swim, which will obviously help the strength, etc. And just see how it goes. But anybody that's looking to do it, like I say, if you've got room, they aren't as hard as you think. They're just bigger. And obviously when you're handling them, when they grow and stuff, they are bigger. They are a bit more aggressive than chickens. So I'm trying to be as caring to them as I can. They do come to me now, and they do jump on my hand, and they allow me to stroke them and pick them up. That's even after 3 days. So the earlier I get to them, hopefully the better they'll be when they're, turning adults. Always make eye contact, even with the chickens. If you're going to try and befriend them to make your life a bit easier, then, when you pick them up, always make eye contact and speak to them, in a nice soft voice. And they get used to it. And they look at you as, well, this person's safe, I can trust him. So once you've got the trust, life's so much easier. They'll do pretty much anything that you want them to, like bedtimes, and, if you want to get them in, they may have escaped from the outside run, whatever. You just call them, show them a bit of food, and they'll come running. It just makes your life easier rather than chasing chickens or geese around the bloody garden like a headless chicken. So, you've got to put a bit of time in to make your life easier. So that's pretty much it up to now. I did record the egg being hatched. Obviously, it was quite a lengthy process, so I'm not going to let you sit and watch it all. But I will put the one that actually did the actual first one that was born. That the egg, you can see the egg opening and the goose coming out. So it was so nice to see. So I'll put them on for you. So that's it really. What else have we been up to? Oh, the old chicken coop, from the last video. We've put a new coop up now, as I've showed you, which is working really fine. The door I put in, the electric door, is working really fine. But the old coop, it was falling to bits. So I took the laying side out of it, so that there was boxes that are fastened to the coop, and they were just rotten. The roof was rotten, so I took them off, and I relined it with some tongue and groove, which I've left from the kitchen actually, in here, from the ceiling in here, which has already been stained. I'll have to do it again, but so I've done the sides, and it's obviously much stronger and much warmer. When the weather turns, I'm just going to finish the back where the door is to get in, and that coop is for the young ones, for the pullets as we call them now, because there's plenty of space in there. And 3 days it took me to train them to go in at night. That was it, 3 days. First 3 days, the dusk was coming. They didn't know what to do. So I just helped them in the coop. They realised that they were a safe place. And then on the third night, they all went in on their own. So they need a little bit of supervision. And they just get used to it, and then they do it. I'll put the next bits on for you, with the egg hatching and stuff, and a bit of film of the babies. Any comments, please leave any comments, any questions about the incubator or anything. Leave us some questions. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, because obviously it helps the channel immensely. We do have a lot of people watching our videos, but not all of them are subscribing. So it's free, it doesn't cost anything, but what it will do, it will allow you to see our up and coming videos. So there you go.
Well, look at this. The goose eggs have started hatching. I put the mat down this morning and all these pippins appeared. So this one that's in the centre of the picture is probably going to be the first one, because it seems to have pipped all the way around. Oh. Come on, little one. Come on. Come on, little one. Push, push. You're nearly there. Yay!
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.